I just assume that I'm being recorded at all times.
That is a very good assumption to have, honestly. All right. Well, we're recording now.
Yes.
So there's that.
All right.
All right. Let's get right to it, shall we?
Yep.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the General Geekery podcast. This is, of course, the podcast where we love to geek out about all that we love to geek out about while a cat walks by the microphone with no remorse.
No regrets.
And with all of the enthusiasm in the world.
Indeed.
We are your hosts for this podcast. As always, I am your resident coffee ninja by day, actor, gamer, streamer by night, Donald Kaczynski, back once again. Joining me, as always, across the table from me, she is our artiste extraordinaire and resident video game inept, Hannah Kubiak.
Hello.
And today, to wrap up this kind of little horror movie month that we set out for ourselves, we each chose a horror movie to look at this month. Hannah chose The Exorcist last time, so that was fun. This time, I decided to go something a little bit more campy.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
Yeah.
Cat, come sit over here, please.
Sorry, guys. We're recording this, and Hannah's cat Kefka is currently entangled in the microphone.
He's a twit. Hey, come here. No, come here. Come here.
Well, while Hannah tries to finagle the little monster here,
He's fine. He's not on the microphone or on the cord. He's just in my space.
Yeah, he's fine. Well, what we're talking about today is 1992's Braindead, or Dead Alive, as it was known as in the West. So I really wanted to bring about this movie because I brought this to Hannah's attention several months ago with a specific clip from the film.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember your reactions like, this looks absolutely insane. Why would you show me this? And then I said to you, because Peter Jackson was the one who directed this film. And you're like, what?
What? Now I think that just whoever asked him to direct The Lord of the Rings took the biggest gamble in the history of cinema.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm just like, who watched this and decided this person should direct that movie?
If you look at any of Peter Jackson's filmography from the 90s and the 80s, and then you compare it to like what he did with Lord of the Rings, and you're just like, how?
How?
Freaking how?
Mm-hmm. Hey.
But this movie did happen. It is considered by many people to be one of the goriest films of all time. Like with the amount of like blood fests that you see in horror films, like in Saw or something like that.
Yeah.
This
body horror.
Yeah, body horror, stuff like that.
Decapitation. Disembowelment. Impalement.
This is a zombie film, by the way, folks.
Strangulation with intestines, being tossed in a blender, being minced by a lawnmower. What else happened?
Oh yeah, two zombies. Doing the horizontal monster mash and bringing out a zombie baby.
They did the do.
Yep.
They made the beast with two backs, as Shakespeare says.
Indeed.
Yes.
The Bacchosaurus.
The Bacchosaurus.
That's a quote from that 70s show when they mention that.
Okay. The Bacchosaurus.
It's great.
Oh my goodness.
So, yes, this is a zombie film from 1992. A New Zealand zombie film from 1992, I must say. And this has quite the reputation behind it, but before we get into that, we might as well just talk about the plot.
Okay.
Shall we?
Yes, let's.
Our film opens up, as many films often do.
In the south of France.
Well, not this time. In the country of Sumatra, on Skull Island, with a New Zealand zoologist, it looks like, running with a native man, trying to get a monkey away from a native tribe.
Yep.
Wait, don't all stories start like that?
Most of them do.
I mean, I feel like that was the entire middle of the second Pirates of the Caribbean movie, but that's just me.
I definitely saw parallels.
Fair. So, as they're running away from the tribe, which Hannah correctly pointed out was the Way of the Dead from Lord of the Rings: Return of the King.
Exactly. What was that place called again?
I forget off the top of my head.
It's very distinct sort of gray, creepy-looking canyons.
Hold on, I have a list of the filming locations.
Oh, I find that very, very interesting.
Yeah, like it's just like an entire comprehensive list of all of the filming locations on their on the Wikipedia page. Mm-hmm. I apologize if I mispronounce this. Putangirua Pinnacles.
Wait, can I see?
Yes. It is a very weird pronunciation.
Phone
unlock, please. Putangirua? The top one.
Yeah. Putangirua, I think.
I don't know if there's like a specific dialect.
Putangirua.
I'm not sure if there's a specific dialect that you have to speak it in, but yeah, that's what the place is called. So they get away from the tribe, but not unscathed, as the little thing that they were transporting gave our New Zealand guy. Hannah, do you want to say this one?
He has the bite.
The bite.
The bite. That was probably my second favorite part of the movie. Actually, was
just the opening.
Just the opening and the part where they say he has the bite, and they get out the machete, chop off his hand. They notice another bite, chop off his arm. Notice another bite on his head, so chop off his head.
So they have to kill him.
And then just every time it's like, he has the bite, the bite,
the bite,
the bite. Singaya.
I was rewatching the recording that we had that we made of us watching it. That'll be up on the Patreon, by the way.
Yep. You'll get to see I don't know if the horror on my face is the correct term for some of these things, but my
you didn't have a look of disgust or horror. It was just more shock. Just like, what is happening?
Yeah. Just surprise and bemusement and a bit of existential wonder. Basically, one of those moments, kind of like when watching the trapped in a TV show episode of Supernatural, where I'm like just sitting there and I'm like,
what is happening?
What am I doing with my life? What? How did I get here?
I feel like that was mainly all in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, the last it felt like 3 times that long.
Yeah.
The end.
So evidently these men were transporting what was a Sumatran rat monkey to a zoo in New Zealand. I forget the name of the zoo, but it goes to a zoo. Flash forward to our two leads. First is Paquita, who is who works at a store with her family, which through the power of the Arcana, at least I think it was the Arcana, fortune telling that she is destined to meet her love based on a certain symbol forming.
Yep.
Enter our hapless protagonist, Mr. Lionel.
I really liked him, actually.
He's great.
A hapless protagonist is probably one of my favorite things. Just by complete dumb luck, kind of like Jar Jar Binks, he just manages to, 1, not get bitten by a zombie, and 2, just somehow just escapes in every way possible.
He holds this entire movie together.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's good. It's so great.
Yep.
The actor who portrays Lionel, you could tell he was just having so much fun with what was going on.
Yeah.
It was all or nothing.
Yeah, his Nicolas Cage crazy eyes.
Party's over. We'll get to that scene.
Yeah. Oh man, that was the part that was the most Nicolas Cage to me.
Absolutely.
Over.
Absolutely.
Kind of remind me of that meme.
So Lionel is the son of a very notable and wealthy widow by the name of Vera.
Yes.
whose husband has died many, many years before when Lionel was just a young lad.
Yes.
And what's the best way to describe this sort of very overprotective mother?
Yes. It's kind of like, well, I made about 15 references to Psycho throughout, so...
Yeah.
Like, she was literally brandishing a kitchen knife when he came into the house the first time. And there's these creepy steps going up to the house. There's this really, really creepy looking foyer with these big, tall stairs. And the mother is like, as soon as he's interested in a woman, she's just completely off the rails, jealous, trying to break it up any way possible.
She's basically being the controlling mother.
Yes.
Yeah. Very, very.
The dominating mother, the overbearing mother. Which which is the kind of it produces many serial killers have been produced by just such a mother.
Referencing Psycho again.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Also, Edmund Kemper.
I do believe you have mentioned him.
His mom was like that. Jerry Brudos. His mom was like that. Jerry Brudos.
Yeah.
He's probably the creepiest serial killer to me.
Yeah. Well.
Anyway.
Moving on, but basically she is given a position on a very notable organization, the WLWL, the Women's Something Welfare League.
The Women's...
I don't remember the full thing. I just remember the last two
Women's
words.
Liberation Welfare League?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
That's what I can describe it. And so she has Lionel doing like all these different very minimal, but she's overblowing about her chores. There's just a bit speck of dust right there.
Yep.
Mom, I already mowed the lawn. Is this what you call a well-kept frontage? I actually had to go back to make sure that was actually what she said. I was pissing myself with laughter with the way the way she described it. I'm like,
oh man,
what? Why is she just being so over the top in the ways that she describes things? And I realized, oh no, that's basically me. No, I don't want to. If I grow up to be like that, just decapitate me where I stand.
Or just the I don't know. It's like kind of the gaslighting thing where it's like, son, you're never going to leave me, and she like dropped a vase and broke it because she was like she was watching him out in the yard talking to Paquita, and he came in and he's like, oh no, mom, and she's like, well, this is all your fault if you hadn't been talking to that slut.
Well, she didn't outright say that in that moment, like
something like that, where I was like, whoa, dang, I mean.
So, Paquita and Lionel eventually do go on a date to the zoo, where we find out Lionel has some PTSD regarding his father drowning.
Yep, which the cat's just drinking more water. It's fine.
It's okay. Very weird flashbacks.
Yes, and he just kind of has this monologue about it by the seal tank or whatever. He just starts talking about it.
And then Paquita consoles him, and then they walk away with Miss Vera following closely behind to snoop.
To snoop, yes.
And then they get to the monkey cages, and we see the Sumatran rat monkey, all done through the power of stop motion. I completely So I've seen this movie before. I forgot that the rat monkey was done in stop motion. I was pleasantly surprised to rediscover that. I'm like, I forgot about that.
Yep, the Sumatran rat monkey.
All the stop motion in this film was done by Peter Jackson, which I must say, bravo, sir, bravo. I am a lover and appreciator of stop motion animation, so
pretty good. Yep.
And so yeah, we are introduced to this thing as it bites off the arm of a monkey that it kills.
Yep.
And it's just eating the arm.
Mm-hmm.
And then as the zookeeper comes in to take the dead monkey away and is talking with Lionel and Paquita, it seems that the dead carcass is reanimating. Yeah, we never come back to that.
Oh, we didn't?
We never came back to that.
Oh, yikes. Okay. The dead carcass.
The movie never came back to that.
The carcass of the rat monkey or the carcass of the
monkey whose arm had like bit off.
Oh, okay.
It was twitching.
Oh, nice. Okay.
At least I think it was twitching.
Maybe he was
Yeah, we never came back to
maybe
that.
he was just being gnawed on.
I have no idea.
Maybe he just stayed in the cage and spazzed out.
So as Vera is following them, she gets too close to the rat monkey cage, and the rat monkey bites her in the arm.
Mm-hmm.
And in response, she kills the rat monkey.
Yes.
And before
that should have been the end of that.
Before overblowing her injury and asking Lionel, "Take me home." But it wasn't really as overblown as the following morning. It is very, very much a bad wound, and she's like very much slurring her words.
Yep, her skin is falling off.
Skin is falling off of her face that they have to use Gorilla Glue to put it on. I laughed so hard at that. I'm like, Gorilla Glue.
Oh my gosh.
And
that was the point where I started to get Edward Scissorhands vibes.
Yeah.
Just the sort of like ridiculousness of people, and it's a little bit, it's like kind of gross and kind of campy, but they could take it completely seriously.
Indeed. It was just so great. And then Lionel's trying to keep everything together as the heads of the WLWL are meeting, and Vera is like completely incoherent as skin is falling off her face and she loses an ear.
Yep.
In the pudding.
Yep.
That she then eats.
Yep.
The husband doesn't notice.
He also eats
the wife does. Yeah, and apparently she accidentally lets some of the blood from her wound out into the husband's custard, and he eats it.
Oh yeah, it spurted like a
geyser.
Spurted like a boil. Yeah.
Yeah, we never see them again, do we?
No.
There could be a whole other infection out there, and we don't even know.
There could be. Although I feel like, isn't it just being bitten by the things? Like
if
you eat part of it, you could be fine.
I'm not going to test that theory. Peter Jackson, what the heck?
No. Yep.
At least, I don't think there was any more like that in the. I don't know if we watched the original extended version or the cut version, but whichever.
If there's an extended version that I didn't see, man. Okay, continue.
So, basically, as all this is happening, they call in a nurse to check her, and during the visit, she dies.
Mother dies.
Not after eating Paquita's dog.
She ate it whole.
She ate my dog! Well, not all of it.
It's like, it just sort of, just trying to be optimistic at all times, this guy.
He's just trying to keep it together. He's like, I was like...
Not all of it, look! But yeah, that was gross. That was like unclogging a drain with unclogging the most clogged drain.
Yeah.
When like pulling the whole rat carcass out of her mouth. It was so gross.
Interesting visual. Completely forgot that was in there. I think I bleached my mind at that when I originally watched it, but...
I bleached my mind already, I think.
Fair enough. But, so during the visit, Lionel's mother dies as the nurse is consoling him. The mom reanimates into zombie and bites the nurse.
Yep.
Whose head is slightly decapitated, and she becomes a zombie as well.
Yep.
She becomes the nearly headless nurse.
Yes. And, there's a sort of, what is it called? There's a sort of, almost slapstick fight between Lionel and his mother and the nurse while Paquita is upstairs
figuring out which toothbrush to bring.
What to bring to the hospital for their mother.
And instead of killing the two zombies outright like a reasonable person, Lionel just locks them in the basement.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
his mother all the while was saying, "I will not go in the fruit cellar. You think I'm fruity, huh? Norman."
Okay.
Did she say any of that?
I don't think so.
Oh, that must have been a different movie.
That was probably a different movie. So Lionel's trying to keep the secret and like not let them out and everything like that. So he gets the idea. I need tranquilizer. So he goes to a animal veterinarian to get an entire big bottle of tranquilizer fluid, and
that man had rabies. I'm pretty sure
he either had rabies or he was a lot of people in like YouTube comment sections that I saw is like I feel like several of the people that either worked in the undertaking business or in the veterinarian business were probably former Nazis.
Probably.
That's what people with
No, that guy, yeah, but
that's what people in the comment section were saying, and I'm like,
well, I mean, it wasn't too far off, the guy.
I mean, he's just there for one scene and he's gone. Mm-hmm. It's definitely memorable.
I love the shot where he's standing there and like the horns of this animal are like right behind his head.
Es el Diablo.
Oh, I love it. Oh man.
Oh, it's wonderful. So Lionel tries to keep the thing contained. Vera escapes and gets subsequently hit by a trolley. Mm-hmm. So, and after when no one's looking, he sedates Vera, and everybody believes that Vera has died.
So there's a funeral.
And
a burial.
But they had a very hard time embalming her.
Yep.
Done by Peter Jackson himself, ladies and gentlemen, in a cameo uncredited role. Hooray!
Now that I think about it, I can see how that was him.
Yeah, I had to look back at that too. I'm like, yeah, that is Peter Jackson, all right. So they eventually bury her. Lionel goes back to get her because
reasons.
Well, I mean, he's like, there's a good chance that she's probably gonna get out.
Oh, gotcha. So he's trying to just like take care of it.
Yeah, he's trying to keep it contained. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, either that or he's like, I just can't leave this be. Can't leave this be. This is my mom. Can't leave this be. I mean, this is a point of grief where it's just like irrational things happening.
Yep.
As he's digging her out, the local toughies, group of bad rascals, start defacing Vera's grave, and as one is pissing on the grave, zombie Vera comes out and basically eats his entire middle.
Yep.
And then
I think she grabbed him in the dick. Honestly.
Well, she pulled his face towards her face, so I don't know. It's weird. It was kind of a weird.
Well,
angle.
even from beyond the grave, she's emasculating everyone around her. You know.
So two of the hooligans get bitten, and Lionel's cornered by Vera and now two reanimated hoodlums. When out of nowhere, our hero has emerged.
Yes! Father MacGruber, what the devil is going on here?
Praise be, the devil is amongst us. Stand back, boy. This calls for divine intervention. If it weren't for like the campiness that comes like later on in this movie, I would name this probably my favorite scene of all time. I
loved that scene. Even when you showed it to me out of context, I loved it. And
Did you like it more in context?
I liked it the same.
Yes.
I was looking forward to it throughout the beginning of the movie.
And then when it appears, the best line of all time.
I kick ass for the Lord!
Dun, dun, dun.
And he does all sorts of like... Basically, it's like a Mortal Kombat fight where you're like kicking somebody. Have you ever played Mortal Kombat where somebody's like just keeps on kicking you and you never get back onto the ground? You're just kind of like flipping around in a like you're just like flipping around. You're just flipping around like you're being attacked by Pierre LeFou or something, you know?
Yeah. That's like the best way to describe it. It's literally like a Mortal Kombat fight. You're just doing constant juggles.
Yep, and just just kind of like a rubber band.
And utilizing one of the zombies' body parts to beat him up. Like legitimately, as I said it, he's using a motherfucker to beat another motherfucker. Sorry, children.
Oh my goodness.
But during the ensuing event,
children and pregnant women should not listen to this podcast.
Well, he just he just limbs one of the zombies of both arms and both legs and decapitates him with a kick. But as the zombie head goes in air, it lands right on his shoulder and he's bitten.
Yep.
And as he tries to go in for the kill on another zombie, he misses and gets impaled on a gravestone.
Yep.
And that is the end of Father MacGruber as a human.
Yep.
And he comes back as a zombie.
Yep.
A very horny zombie.
Yep.
Who during a feeding scene because now Lionel has 4 zombies in his house.
Yes.
The nurse, his mom, Father MacGruber, and the gang leader.
Yep.
And he's feeding them all custard with the tranquilizer in it to keep them sedated. And
Yep.
as his uncle's checking in on him to figure out what's going on, in the other room, it is heard that nearly headless nurse and Father MacGruber, as we mentioned earlier, we're doing the zombie horizontal monster mash.
Father MacGruber Law, this is.
Brad. And as Lionel breaks up with Paquita in order to keep her safe, he comes home and finds a zombie baby. They conceived a zombie baby.
Yep.
And
that zombie baby was absolutely horrifying.
Yes, I agree. And now, normal human reasoning would be like, I must destroy this unholy abomination.
I realized what it reminds me of. What the baby reminded me of. It was Pepper from American Horror Story Asylum and Freak Show.
Oh, okay. I can actually see that.
Yeah.
I can actually see that resemblance.
Yeah.
So any reasonable human would just outright just kill this abomination against nature.
Yep.
Lionel is currently stressed and not thinking straight, so he decides to take the baby to a play park
Yep.
in a carriage that is covered in barbed wire.
I love that so much. There's barbed wire in there.
That scene was insane.
That scene was insane. It was, yeah. It was.
Like he's trying to do his best, man. Like cut the boy some slack. But he's trying to prevent the baby from like attacking any other onlookers and children. So all the people are seeing is that
all they're seeing is a man like beating a baby within an inch of his life.
Yep. Just like hitting it with the swing set, just knocking it against bars, like just like a little hyperactive.
That's funny too.
I laughed so hard during that.
Hyperactive.
So the uncle eventually finds the zombies. Those are they were tranked, so I think so they weren't alive. So he didn't realize that they were zombies, and so he blackmails Lionel into giving up the inheritance and the estate to him.
And then he throws a rager.
While the zombies are still there. And as Paquita checks in on Lionel, even though they broke up, she still loves him. She discovers the zombies and she convinces Lionel to kill them. And so they poison him.
They poison the zombies, and bury them.
And that's the end of the movie.
The
At
end.
least. Oh, no. You're missing so much more, Donald.
Who was that?
Okay, fine. That's Editor Donald in my head saying, no.
Oh, okay. Well, Editor Donald did just speak out loud. I've never...
That's what he does. So, our story doesn't end there.
Unfortunately.
As Mr. Uncle as Lionel and Paquita have incurred the wrath of the uncle, Lionel gets locked in the basement.
Yep.
Where he discovers that the poison was not poison. It was poison for humans.
It's poison to humans.
But it was animal stimulants. They have returned. Stronger, faster.
Stronger, faster, hornier.
Well, I don't know about that last part, but let's just say a bloodbath ensues.
Yep.
As the zombies go to town on all of the partygoers, devouring everything in sight. It is now a zombie party. We're
the Monster Mash.
We're the Monster Mash. And honestly, if everything that we mentioned before seemed like a very weird rom-com with zombies, you'd be right.
Yep.
It's the last 20 minutes of this film where this movie goes absolutely insane.
I can't believe it was only 20 minutes.
It was like 20 minutes. I know it seemed longer.
Oh my goodness. There was way too much going on in there.
Yeah.
People's skin was getting ripped off. People were being
a zombie's head became a jack-o'-lantern.
A zombie's head became a jack-o'-lantern.
One zombie's head got replaced by a garden gnome.
One zombie's head got stuffed in a blender.
The uncle was consistently getting hit in the dick by the baby.
Yep. The baby had something against him. Who knows what?
I mean, to be fair, he had it coming.
Yep, that is true. Yes. And let me see. Yep, people were just being gnawed down to the bone while they were still alive.
Yep. Honestly, all the special effects budget of this movie was basically corralled into the last 20 minutes, and I have to say, like, I know gore is not for everyone and stuff like that, but considering the tone of this film prior to, like, this part happening,
yeah,
I'm like, yeah, this is completely campy and over the top. This kind of fits. And also, I have to applaud just the overall just creativity of, like, what they did with some of these.
Yep.
Especially with, like, quick edits from when one woman is, like, covering her face in, like, horror, and then it's a quick edit to a zombie bursting through the back of her head and the arm coming out of her mouth. I'm like, that is cool.
And then grabbing another person. That I found very, it was
the zombie baby eating through the back of another person's head and coming out and opening the.
face, I was trying to remember how she finally died. Yeah, the zombie baby coming through the face. I think possibly the most disturbing thing was the creature that was just a bunch of guts and intestines.
Oh, that was made from like the bullies and
and with a butthole.
Yeah, we were like
It definitely.
You were the one who said it. Is like, is that a butthole?
It farted the butthole.
Yeah, it did.
I was like.
Yeah, that was the weirdest part.
That was the weirdest part.
Especially when it Mortal Kombated Lionel into going like, get over here, and was grabbing him by the leg and up the pants, and we're like, no.
Yep.
I'm like, I was fine with everything else in this movie. This is where I draw the line.
Oh man, yeah, and while up in the attic, Lionel discovers something.
The truth.
He discovers a skeleton in a chest.
It was his father. Basically, his mom killed his father and her lover, which
his lover.
Well, we see glimpses of the woman like throughout like different PTSD flashbacks as the movie progresses. And so Lionel stands up for himself and rescues Paquita in the way party's over. He takes a lawnmower that he was using to mow the lawn earlier in the film and mows down all of the zombies. And when I mention like blood and guts everywhere, this is the scene.
I actually didn't mind the lawnmower scene that much.
It was everything else surrounding it?
Yeah.
Huh, okay. Alright, fair enough. Honestly, yeah, fair.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was less specifically grotesque. It was basically just like...
Yeah.
Just like everything was being minced. There wasn't like any sort of really... Like, it was no zombie baby crawling out of the front of a person's face or anything like that, you know?
I was okay with that. It was mainly just the intestine tentacle monster that was like, yeah, we crossed the line.
That really creeped me out. And the face of it, we never really figured out what that was supposed to be, did we?
I'd rather not know.
I don't know.
I'd rather not know.
Kind of looked like...
Because we already have to deal with giant Vera.
Oh, that's gross. Yeah, that's
right. that was.
Yes.
I forgot about that.
You did? How could you forget?
Because everything else cool that happened in this film.
But
so basically, the animal stimulants made Vera a giant thing.
A giant zombie.
That's naked.
Yeah.
For some awful reason.
Yeah. Oh.
And she can talk again, which I'm like, why is this thing talking?
Oh, and then yes, so she bursts out of the floor in the basement and just like, feed me, Seymour.
I love that we both said that at the same time. We both said that at the same time during the movie.
Yep. It's great. Yeah, there was definitely a little Shop of Horrors vibe to it as well.
So, as the house is caught on fire by what I mentioned before, the zombie that's basically a jack-o'-lantern because it was attached to the light socket and eventually caught on fire. As the house is burning down, we Hunchback of Notre Dame this. We escape to the roof.
Yep.
Where they have the confrontation with Vera and Lionel confronts her.
Yep.
And
where he says, "You cannot pass! Go back to the shadow."
And Vera responds by opening up her entire body and putting Lionel back into her.
Into her. Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me.
Basically, the best way to describe this is to try like a quote-unquote zombie unbirth. Like,
Yep. And I commented at the time that if he dies now, what a awesome bookend for his life that would be.
Yeah, you did. But he survives.
He
kills her.
survives. He kills her from within.
And him and Paquita escape as the house burns down, and thankfully the baby dies with it.
Yep.
The baby dies with it.
Yes.
The baby was the last zombie standing, but it's dead.
Oh, creepy baby in its red and white striped pajamas.
Yes. As the
looking like a demon Christmas elf.
Be gone, Satan.
Looking like a possessed Cabbage Patch Kid.
Oy vey.
Oh man. So that's the movie.
Yep. Paquita and Lionel walk off into the night.
Covered in gore.
Covered in gore. As the fire brigade is taking care of the house, every onlookers looking on, and they don't notice the two people obviously covered in blood as they walk away into the night. Yeah, that's Dead Alive or Braindead or however it is.
Yeah.
So, might as well talk about initial reactions and then some stuff, fun stuff we noticed about the film. Like I said, I saw this movie before, back when I was in college. I love crazy B-movie-esque over-the-top films. I mean, obviously I'm a fan of the Evil Dead series. So this movie was like right up my alley. I kind of love like how crazy you can go with special effects when you obviously don't care about taking yourself seriously and you just want to create something shocking. Like, luckily, there wasn't anything offensive in this film for me, personally.
No, there wasn't anything offensive.
Like, okay, yes.
Naked mother butthole intestine monster.
But besides that. But to be honest, the 1990s were all about, like, gross humor and everything like that. So, I mean,
True.
It kind of fit with the times of the late 80s into the 90s.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, I guess I'm more desensitized to it.
Maybe.
But
I think
it still got a reaction out of me, but still.
I don't know. I think maybe if you were going to ask me if I liked this movie overall, I would have to say no. It was a little bit too gratuitously grotesque and gross for me. Honestly.
I was worried when I did show you this the scene with Father McGruber fighting the zombies, and you were like, "Why have I never seen this movie? I want to see it." And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know how you were about like just gore and just like violence and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it has to have a purpose for me. Like, there was this play that we learned about in when I was in college for my theater degree, and it was a kind of drama called, I believe it was called Theater of the Grotesque.
Okay.
Where the point of it was just to disgust you.
Okay.
And there was literally a play called Jet of Blood. Or there was one like play that the whole script was basically a series of like disgusting things pouring down onto the stage. I don't know if this thing was ever actually staged, but it was just kind of like a I don't know. Like I prefer my art to be a little bit more beautiful, I believe. Not to say that like things that things that are gross don't have their place, because they do. But I feel like the purpose of ugliness and violence is to sort of let me start over. The purpose of ugliness and violence in a story is to sort of emphasize like the difference between how the world is and the way that the world should be. And if you're going to show something ugly and depraved, you need to follow that up with something something beautiful and good, if that makes sense.
Okay, I can understand that viewpoint.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand that viewpoint. I'm kind of glad that you had a differing opinion on this from me, just because this creates for a little bit more of an interesting conversation after the fact.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty much all I have to say, though.
Yeah. I do agree with you that it is not for everyone. Like, there's a reason, like, ultra-violence is not, like, a big market for people or anything like that. Like, again, I take mine in, like, small doses.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's like sometimes where I'm just like, I need a very just campy, over-the-top, like, experience to, like... Because, for me, it's kind of like a, the best way that I can describe it, it was from the person who directed some of the later Saw movies, Saw 6 and Saw 7.
Gotcha.
Despite the fact that he is known for utilizing horror and blood and guts and everything like that, he has a very fight or flight reaction to actual blood.
Mm-hmm.
Like visceral reaction.
Wow.
And I think the way he described it is that, like, any film that utilizes gore, whether it be serious or over-the-top campy or stuff like that, is through the safety of watching it on your couch, like, testing your limits of, like, what you feel that you are comfortable with.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And I feel like we had that kind of experience with this. Obviously, like, I'm seeing past, like, all of that and just noticing the special effects and what they were able to accomplish.
Yeah.
But you, on certain things in this film, you're like, I feel like I'm comfortable with this. I don't really like this, so I can't overall say. And I think that's important.
Yeah.
I think stuff like that is very important to gauge whether or not you are comfortable with a kind of movie like this.
There was something, I think it was something that Stephen King said about the different kinds of horror. Or the reactions you want from people. And there's, like, well, fear is obviously one of them. And disgust is another one.
Yeah.
So I would say that, like, for me, this one was more disgust than fear. Like, it didn't really scare me. It was just kind of like, it was just kind of off-putting for me,
Fair.
I'm glad we watched this movie though, because now I've seen it.
Yeah, I'm glad we sat down to watch it. Like, overall, I know it wasn't like a good favorite of yours, but you didn't like certain parts in it. I'm like, as long as you had a good time watching it,
yes, even
if you didn't come out of it like liking the movie overall.
Yeah, I wouldn't watch it again, but I mean, you have to, well, just because you didn't like something doesn't mean that it was a waste of time, you know?
Right. I mean, whether you like something or dislike something, as long as you got something out of it, we take those.
Yep.
But yeah, now that I know this, I now know that there are some films I really can't bring to you because I don't think you'll enjoy them or have a good time with them. So I can't really show you the Evil Dead movies.
Yeah, that makes sense.
As much as I love Sam Raimi, if you had this kind of reaction towards Braindead, and I don't think you'll be able to get through Evil Dead. Even though that one isn't like bloody or something like, it's not bloody. Yeah. But it's like supernatural kind of like ooziness. It's really weird.
Or like Ghostbusters?
Demonic possession type stuff.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Head spinning. Pea soup.
Head spinning. Decapitations. Just a lot of stuff.
Cool.
But. Yeah, overall, I'm glad that we got to sit down and watch this movie. So another thing I want to just talk about is, like, how do you think they got from this to going into Lord of the Rings for Peter Jackson? How did this come about? How did this come about?
I feel like, because maybe the fact that Fran Walsh and Philippa Boyens, I believe, are their names.
For Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
I think.
They wrote the script and he directed it.
Wait, who was one of the
Fran Walsh, I believe they are married actually, or were married at some point or something like that. I'm not sure.
She also wrote the screenplay for Braindead.
What? Well, there goes my theory. Well, this is so stupid. What? Okay.
Wait, who was the other one?
Philippa Boyens or something? Or Bowman?
I'll figure it out.
Oh my gosh. All right. I thought that there still remained a part of my soul left unscarred, but I think it's over.
To be fair, she wrote part of the screenplay, not the entire thing. It was kind of a collaboration.
So the same person...
Philippa Boyens.
Philippa Boyens. Yep, that's right. Yeah. So the same person who wrote... There's some good in this world and it's worth fighting for, also wrote... I kick ass for the Lord.
Damn right. Damn right. Well, I mean, it's kind of like the duality of like, there have been some misses for directors as well. Like, sometimes they have like the highest of the highs and just everything's just absolutely incredible. But there's also been times where it's like, wow, that movie was shit. Just... I mean, everybody has misses. Everybody has misses. Oh man, I'm trying to remember. Francis Ford Coppola, actually. He's the director of the Godfather movies. What many people consider like some of the best films ever made.
Yeah. With
the exception of number 3. Number 3 is awful.
Yeah.
But I know there was one other film that he did that he's like, how did he go from Godfather to this?
Maybe he just got tired. Maybe he just ran out of steam.
Well, he usually like picks his films like here and there and everything like that. Oh yeah, it was his version of Dracula.
Oh goodness.
The one with Keanu Reeves, and actually. No, I actually have to like that one because Gary Oldman is Dracula. So. Oh my gosh. I give that one a pass.
Who directed The Fifth Element? Because that's one of my favorite terrible movies that Gary Oldman is in, where he plays.
I wouldn't exactly call that a terrible movie.
What's his name? It was pretty bad. But yeah, what was his name? It was
Luke Besson.
Oh, Luke Besson. Okay.
I mean, it's compared to other films, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Fifth Element is not that bad.
No.
Like, and obviously, the split reaction that you and me have with Dead Alive and Braindead is kind of 50-50. Like, if you were to compare, so on Rotten Tomatoes, it has like somewhere between like an 87 to an 89% like positive review. But then on like other media aggregators, it's like a 50-50 split. It's like, it's either you like it or hate it. And honestly, it kind of comes with the territory when it comes to like excessive gore in horror films. And this one isn't really technically a horror film, it's more of a horror comedy. But this movie inspired a lot of different people when it comes to like the zombie genre. Case in point, Simon Pegg.
Gotcha.
For the movie Shaun of the Dead, Simon Pegg looked at this film as part of the inspirations of like how to approach humor. See,
that's weird because I do like Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Shaun of the Dead's a little bit more of like a tamer kind of yeah.
It's funnier also.
Take. I do agree. Shaun of the Dead does have like more laughs compared to Braindead.
Yeah.
Like Braindead, you're laughing out loud at just like the sheer what the hell.
Yeah, it's more of a what the fuck kind of nervous laughter.
it was a bit more like a crazy nervous laugh. It was like, I can't believe that this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that this is happening. I'm finding joy at just the hilarity of like what is happening on screen, as opposed to like the jokes of happening in Shaun of the Dead, like when they're trying to kill zombies by sorting through records that they don't need anymore.
Yes. I think probably one of my favorite parts of that movie was that the fact that he doesn't notice that the apocalypse is that the zombie outbreak is going on. When he comes out and he like walks out of his house, crossing the street, there's like cars crashed all over the place, blood smeared on the windshields, a fire hydrant is geysering, and
when he goes into the shop and gets the cone and everything like that, there's a bloody handprint that he doesn't even notice.
Bloody handprint on
his walk back,
on the fridge.
On his walk back, a zombie's approaching him. He thinks the beggar's like, "Look, I don't have any change, man. I didn't have enough to pay for this fucking cone."
Yep, and he makes it all the way back home without noticing anything, and I just think that's really funny.
It's brilliant.
Yeah,
absolutely brilliant. But yeah, this movie has inspired like other artists to like do their other things, like Simon Pegg, and obviously it has a big reputation for film buffs as well, and. Yep. Honestly, good for Peter Jackson for creating this. I mean, I look at it this way. I look at this film and remember it more than his adaptation of King Kong.
Yep.
This is
King Kong wasn't really that memorable, honestly.
Like, it's something memorable and sticks out for a lot of people. I mean, is it good? Is it bad? It's subjective.
Yeah.
Do I think it is a well put together film? Hell no. But it's a piece of like something that is just so wild and out there that I can't help but look at it and respect that you actually made this. It's almost kind of the same kind of appreciation that I have for The Room, despite how laughably bad that movie is. And I can't wait till I get that movie and I have us watch it.
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, it's gonna be so bad. Oh man. But yeah. If you guys want to see Braindead or Dead Alive, it's called Dead Alive in the West, primarily because in 1990 there was another film called Braindead that had the rights to the name Braindead, which is why it was called different for us in the United States. If you guys want to go watch Braindead, Dead Alive, definitely go find it and check it out for yourselves. It's a little bit trickier to find this one on streaming services. I know I had to finagle through a couple of hoops to get us to watch it. But it is out there in many forms, so go check it out for yourselves. And if you need somebody to watch with you for like a good time and just poke fun at the movies, that's how I recommend watching this film.
Yep.
Having people with you and just poking fun at it is probably the best way to experience this movie.
Yeah, if I had watched it on my own and it wasn't for this podcast, I probably wouldn't have finished it, honestly.
That's kind of the reason why I was I wanted to be there, because I'm like it, like poking fun at bad movies and laughing at it with jokes and stuff like that makes the time so much more enjoyable. So that was it for this episode of General Geekery, and before we sign off and do our usual outro, ladies and gentlemen, next month is our favorite time of the year.
Yes.
Hannah's been itching for this one for some time. Ladies and gentlemen, for the fourth year in a row, I would like to welcome back Anime April. This has probably been one of our probably some of our best content in terms of like months for the podcast for Anime April. And for this year, we're going to do something a little bit different. Hannah's been wanting to talk about this show for a while, so for Anime April, we are going to be dedicating the most of the month to one of our favorite anime series that we've talked about before on the podcast, Steins Gate.
Yes.
So we're going to be talking, we're going to be doing a few episodes of like dissected discussions about Steins Gate 0, the sequel series. And I'm going to be showing Hannah the Steins Gate movie, which serves as a direct sequel to the original series as well. So we'll have the movie reaction for that sometime next month. And then we will do the discussion for Steins Gate 0 like in half, probably.
Yeah. I think in the calendar I had like I think we had like each episode we discussed like 6 of the 22 episodes or something. I don't know.
I think it'd be a little bit better as we do it in half, so we can talk about
I guess
the movie too.
Yeah, I guess so.
We'll figure it out.
Sure. Yeah.
We'll discuss a good cutting off point.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it for this episode of General Geekery, ladies and gentlemen. This has been episode 11 of season 2. Thank you guys so much for sitting in and listening and everything like that. If you guys want to see our reactions to Dead Alive and Braindead, by the time that this episode is released, we should have the video reaction available on our Patreon at patreon.com/General Geekery.
Yep.
Simply just click the link in the description of this episode to go check it out. It does require Patreon patronage in order to view it, but if by doing the patronage, you're helping support the show and what we do, as well as any other future projects that we are going to be bringing, it really helps us out, and we greatly, greatly appreciate it.
Yes.
Also, if you guys want to spare some of your coin but don't feel like contributing to the Patreon, that's perfectly okay. We have a coffee page as well for one-time donations as well. Go check that out in the description of this episode as well. You can also find me and Hannah doing different things on Twitch. Hannah and me are both on Loaded Dice Adventures on Mondays and Wednesdays respectively.
Mm-hmm.
Wednesdays has been on a little bit of a hiatus because a lot of different schedules have been happening, but we're hoping to get back on that soon. And Hannah's also part of the regular Monday Avenaria Awakenings campaign as well.
Both of these Loaded Dice is a series, an ongoing campaign for Dungeons and Dragons. We play in the 5e format.
Mm-hmm. And it's with a bunch of like awesome people, very enthusiastic, and just a wonderful time all around. I tune in to the Monday campaigns every now and again. Of course, I'm part of the Wednesday Corsairs campaign. Yep. So it's always a fun time.
I wasn't able to play last night because I was doing theater stuff. But did you catch any of it?
I was unable to.
What happened? Oh, okay.
I was unable to. I had to do other work yesterday. Sorry, we're getting sidetracked. Go check them out at twitch.tv/Loaded Dice Adventures. You can also check us out at my Twitch page on twitch.tv/Coffee Ninja Ryu. I do a bunch of different content on there, including our regular Inepticon series. Currently, Hannah is... we've taken a little pause on Persona 5 Royal right now to have Hannah play through the original Last of Us game. So we are currently about 6 of the way through that. So
really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's mostly story driven, and it's depends on just like how well you can get through navigating that you can pursue the game. So
if I can figure out where doors are, how to open them, and how to not waste my shivs.
Quite. And so go check us out on there. We usually stream those every other Tuesday or so. Probably we'll have that up soon, so go check that out.
Indeed.
Also, if you guys want to see any of the previous episodes that we did through Season 1, including our Steins Gate episode, all of the Season 1 episodes is available on YouTube. Just click the link of the description of this episode to go to the YouTube playlist and find the entire Season 1 catalog. And if you guys want to check us out on any of our socials for General Geekery, you can check us out on Twitter at Gen Geek Podcast and on Instagram at General Geekery. That is pretty much it.
That has got to be the longest outro we've ever done.
No, we've had longer, but this one was the longest for a while. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it.
Indeed.
Until next time, I'm your Coffee Ninja Ryu. This is Hannah, our resident video game inept. So until next time, continue to kick ass for the Lord.
Yes, I do, every day.
Well, I know Hannah does.
Yes.
And always remember to keep your geek on.
Always.
Clink, clink.
Clink, clink.
Party's over. Go home. Bye, everybody.